Welcome, hosts, to our deep dive into the evolving landscape of the short-term rental market in 2025. This video will explore changing market dynamics, regulatory shifts, platform policy changes, and major trends impacting hosts. We're covering everything you need to know to navigate these changes successfully and everything that's happening for the short-term rental market in 2025. Let's start with major market updates. During Airbnb's Q3 2024 earnings call, the company reported strong financial growth. This growth is due in part by their expansion into emerging markets like Latin America and Asia. While they are seeing growth overall in Airbnb, in North America, hosts might be seeing a more competitive market with an increasing of the supply of listings that have outpaced the growth in demand. So as hosts, it's important to stay on top of 2025 trends and to stay competitive in this market. Let's start by examining the market shares and growth strategies of major platforms starting in the US. Airbnb continues to dominate with 43% market share. It remains the go-to platform for young travelers, smaller groups, and those making last-minute bookings. Airbnb continues to lead with a strong presence globally, favored particularly by millennials and Gen Z for its unique listings and flexibility. VRBO holds 21% of the market share within the North American market, bouncing back after a rocky platform migration in the previous year. Its focus on family-friendly homes and longer stays continues to attract dedicated user base. Meanwhile, Booking.com, while lagging at 8%, is rapidly growing, especially in urban centers. Booking.com stands out with its availability of hotels, flights, and short-term rentals, all in one platform, really capturing a large swath of guests and consumers within the space. And they're now growing faster than Airbnb. Although they have a way to go in North America and Europe, they have proven their value with 43% market share dominating that space. Its growth strategy involves a blend of traditional hotel accommodations and short-term rentals, making it a versatile option for both casual tourists and business travelers. Still in Europe, Airbnb is holding a 40% market share and continues to appeal to a younger demographic looking for unique tech-savvy travel experiences in the short-term rental space. Meanwhile, VRBO, through struggling with just 2% market share overall, has found some success in France. As you can tell, which platforms are the most popular are always changing. It's important to be on all the relevant platforms to get as much exposures for your listings. This presents a great opportunity for you to maximize the number of guests you are exposed to and not solely depend on one platform for all your bookings. Using softwares like iGMS, you're able to have your listings on multiple platforms without worrying about double bookings, as the software itself blocks out your calendar as you're receiving bookings on one site to make sure that you don't get another booking on the same date on another site. That means you can also edit all your listings from one place, receive messages from a unified inbox, all while being connected to all the major platforms that you want to be connected to. If that's something that sounds interesting to you, we have included a link in our description to try iGMS for 14 days for free. Now diving more into popular markets, now looking at occupancy trends as we start 2025, the US rental market is expected to rebound to pre-pandemic levels with a projected occupancy rate of close to 50%. Some of the markets performing really well are Boston, San Diego, and the Smoky Mountains have seen a surge of occupancy rates. Each area offers unique attractions that appeal to both domestic and international travelers. This shows a matching in supply and demand as areas where people are looking for short-term rentals are matching or outpacing supply. This brings me to discussing niche markets. New markets are emerging that cater to specific needs such as pet-friendly accommodations as well as luxury estates. These markets are slowly carving out their own space in the industry by focusing on these unique niches, thereby attracting a dedicated user base that seeks specific amenities or experiences. Niche markets, including the growing luxury market, is likely what has prompted one of Airbnb's biggest announcements in 2024. So Airbnb have launched their co-hosting network within their platform, allowing people who have a space but don't have the time to manage it be able to have someone manage it for them. There's also a great opportunity for hosts managing multiple properties to be contracted to manage other people's stays. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'd recommend you go on Airbnb's blog to stay up to date on how many people they're letting in for the co-hosting program and how you can apply to be an official co-host for Airbnb. As we navigate deeper into 2025, one of the critical areas impacting hosts is the tightening of regulations in the short-term rental market. We've highlighted some specific regions to understand the latest regulatory landscapes and the urgent actions needed to stay compliant. Starting with Vancouver, responding to the dual pressures of tourism and housing affordability, Vancouver has made significant adjustments. The city has extended the minimum short-term rental length from 30 days to over 90 days, essentially banning all short-term rentals and only allowing rentals that are over 90 days. In Spain, an effort to regulate the booming short-term rental industry has started when they have introduced new national registration system for any short-term rental hosts. France is taking stringent measures to control its rental market by capping rental days to just 120 days per year and enforcing mandatory property registration. This can also be as low as 90 days depending on the municipality. Urban areas in the US are tightening their grips on short-term rentals. Notably, New York City has effectively banned short-term rentals that are not primary residences, a move aimed at preserving housing stock for local residents. Similarly, Canadian provinces like British Columbia have restricted short-term rentals strictly to principal residences, necessitating business licenses and imposing fines for non-compliance starting from May 2024. And for hosts, staying ahead of these regulations is super important, so check with your local municipality, local region, county, whatever applies to you, and stay up to date with changing restrictions. Along with changing restrictions, there's an update from Airbnb, and they've announced major changes to their cancellation policy coming into effect January 20th, 2025. The countries affected included Argentina, Canada, Chile, and more. Right now, not rolling out to the US, but could be seen in the near future. Overall, these policies are giving guests more options while restricting hosts' ability to set their own cancellation policy. First up, a major addition to the policy is a free 24-hour cancellation period for all guests. This new rule allows guests to receive full refund within 24 hours of booking, as long as the reservation is confirmed at least 7 days before check-in. Along with this, the biggest changes is the removal of a strict policy. Starting January 20th, all new reservations will default to firm policy unless hosts choose otherwise. For short-term rental stays, you have several options. The flexible policy allows guests to cancel up to 24 hours before check-in for a full refund. Moderate policy extends that to 5 days before check-in, and the new limited policy lets guests cancel up to 14 days before check-in for a full refund. Airbnb stays will also be given more visibility with looser cancellation policies over ones with stricter ones. What does that mean for hosts? On one hand, if you have flexible cancellation policies and don't mind keeping it that way, your listing might stand out. Now, for majority of hosts, they are not happy. They will see this as a restriction of their ability to control their stays and have certainty around their incoming revenue, limiting the options that they have to control their own cancellation policies. It's also a great reminder that if you're depending on one platform for the majority of your guests, that you're also at the whim of that platform's policies and changes. That's why it's really important to diversify. That brings us to the rise of direct bookings. As platforms restrict policies for hosts and market dynamics shift, a major strategic pivot is occurring towards direct bookings. Direct bookings are where hosts create their own website to receive bookings for their stays. Interestingly, direct bookings have surged to 20% as more managers invest in their own channels, reducing reliance on traditional platforms. Hosts are increasingly choosing this option not only to not pay out the fees to these booking websites, but also to retain control of their businesses. As we saw with Airbnb's recent change to their cancellation policy, hosts at any moment are at the whim of booking platforms. This means that tomorrow they could change their policies in a way that threatens your business. More and more property managers are using platforms like iGMS to create and manage their own booking websites, moving away from reliance on traditional platforms, which often come with high fees and less control over customer relationships. Platforms like iGMS make it super simple to create your own direct booking website in under a day. This is through pulling your existing Airbnb information into templates specifically for short-term rental bookings. These websites are also very easy to customize and ready to connect with all your other booking websites. If you're interested in trying out iGMS, there's a 14-day free trial so you can see these features for yourself and see if they're the right fit for you and your short-term rental business. Well, thank you so much for sticking around. We've covered a vast array of topics today, from market changes and growth strategies to regulatory changes and the move towards direct bookings. The landscape of short-term rentals is rapidly evolving, and staying informed and adaptable is key to navigating this dynamic market. What are your thoughts on these developments? How are you preparing for upcoming changes in the short-term rental market? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And thank you for joining us for this extensive exploration of the future of short-term rentals in 2025. And thank you for joining us for this extensive exploration into the future of short-term rentals. If you found this video informative, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends.